Perfect. Okay, I guess we can start. So, hi everyone. Thanks for making it today. We have 37 people. That's a good turnout rate for an event that runs in summer. First of all, can everyone hear me okay? For some reason, my internet connection in the last few days have been somewhat dodgy. So if I'm breaking up or anything, just please let me know. Maybe just write in the chat room or something. So I'm going to share my screen, run a quick intro. Where I'm going to talk about this event. I'm going to talk about the meetup for those of you who are joining us for the first time, and also going to make some announcements and some shameless self-promotion for an upcoming exhibition. So let me see if anyone's trying to join. No, perfect. Okay, so let me maximize the screen. Okay, so today's theme is Bitclout. Okay, so is it a scam? Is it the next best thing since ice cream? We don't know. This is something we're going to discuss. I'm not sure we have the answers, but we're definitely going to have a very interesting conversation. So who I am and why I'm interested in Bitclout and AI and NFTs and all those things. So this is my full name. You can call me Stelios because it's easier, right? I go by the title of a data scientist, but I'm also doing lots of work in blockchain, and you can find more about my work here if you go on my personal website. And I've also written up a book, which is a very much introductory textbook into the topic of data science for those of you who want to learn more about the topic, but they don't really want to, have anything to do with, the technicals, algorithms, maths, or any of those things, right? So this meetup has been going on for more than 2 years now. First event was in Bethnal Green, and we're going to run another physical event after a very long time in Bethnal Green again in about 10-11 days or so. So more details to follow on that very shortly. So I'm going to be posting those links for those of you who want to join the official meetup group on Meetups. Before we start, a big thank you to our sponsors. So the Tesseract Academy is the company which I'm heading, and it helps decision makers better understand technologies such as data science and AI. Also, a big thank you to Kadin James, who's a sponsor of this meetup, and the Immersive Kind. A few words again about the Tesseract Academy. If any of you have any interest in data science, AI, either you want to better understand how to use data science and AI or in your business, and you don't know where to start, and you have no intention of actually learning the technical skills, well, this is what we do, right? So we work with all types of people, from CEOs and solo entrepreneurs to big organizations, helping them better understand how to utilize data science and AI. And we provide all kinds of services from education down to implementation. And here are some of the people that have worked with us in the past, and some of big organizations we have worked with. And so I'm going to be sharing all those links during our call. So again, today's topic is Bitclout, and many things have been said about Bitclout. So you can see how the price spiked to close to $200 a few months ago. Oops, now it has flatlined a little bit. Lots of scams, but many interesting things going on. People have called it the Twitter on blockchain. Some say they're saying that it gives power to creatives. Some of them say that's a social media network for NFTs. And today we have 3 speakers we're going to discuss about this very topic. Before we get there, again, talking about the self-promotion, and I guess many of you who are visiting, who are on this call right now, will probably be interested in this. This is the account of the Bitclout account of our AI art collective. Please follow us, and we will be running an exhibition and meetup, physical meetup, in Bethnal Green on the 20th of August. So this is a pretty casual meetup, so there will not be any official presentations, but it's going to run for about 7 hours. There will be artwork, and there will also be discussion, right? So this is more of a get-together and a bit of an experiment. After COVID and after many things, we've not really run a physical meetup for I don't know, like since pretty much the start of COVID, really. So if anyone is in London, feel free to pop by. I'll be sharing those links on Zoom anyway. And again, if anyone of you is an artist who specializes in NFTs, especially AI art, because this is what IX Machina is about, feel free to send me a note, because maybe you want to exhibit. The exhibition is obviously free. And anyone can exhibit for free, right? So this is more of a community thing. We're not Tate or anything like this. I will be sharing details shortly, because there are many links flying around with this presentation. So we have the luck to have actually 3 speakers. Unfortunately, some speakers couldn't make it. We're going to start with Randir, who is a serial entrepreneur and founder of Convergetics. And he leads a global data analytics consulting company, and he's also an investor mentor to several early stage startups in the tech, AI, and blockchain space. Then Kadeen James, who is very, very active in the art scene in London, and especially in the space of the metaverse. She's going to give us her take on Bitclout. And finally, Valeria, who is a media student, also very active on Bitclout, will give us her take. And then in the end, if we have enough time, maybe we're going to run a short panel. So a few things about the logistics and the housekeeping rules. Please keep your microphones muted. The presentations will go for about 10-15 minutes each. And then there will be a Q&A session. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box, and then I will act as a moderator. And then I will ask you, maybe to unmute yourselves, and then our presenters can answer your question. And then if towards the end, again, we have time, maybe we're going to spend 10 minutes as a group, me and all of the presenters today, all of our panel speakers, discussing some questions, which might be a bit more open, like, where Bitclout is heading. Where do we think that it's ever going to bring it to the mainstream? Are more artists going to use it outside of the space of visual arts? All these kind of questions. So without further ado, now I'm going to stop talking, and I will start sharing some of those links in the chat room, and at the same time I will give the stage to Randir. Randir, welcome.
Thanks, Chelios, and I think thank you for the opportunity, and good to see, like Chelios mentioned, a good bunch of about 35 people in the audience. So maybe we can just while I kind of introduce myself, maybe those in the audience can just maybe write a little bit about yourself, so we'll get to know what kind of audience we have. Maybe are you an entrepreneur? Are you more into the creative arts? I think it might be good to just share your details in the chat. About myself, like I think Sirius mentioned, I'm an entrepreneur. Been working on a analytics consulting startup setup. I mean, I wouldn't say startup because it's almost 8 years old now. But we have a 100+ people team. We work with quite a few large global brands, mostly focused on customer analytics, marketing analytics, and digital analytics. So my, in general, in addition to that, and obviously on the side, I help, mentor and guide a lot of smaller setups in a way. I think helping them avoid the mistakes that we made in the early days, helping them fine tune their strategy, and helping them kind of improve their sort of go to market and stuff. So in terms of Bitclout, I think it's been an interesting journey. I'm probably among the earliest, at least in this panel, and probably among the few people who came in almost in the end of March, early April, right? So that's when the general public started coming in. So I've kind of been very active on Bitclout right through and through. Initially started off a bit skeptical. When I joined, I think you Googled or you did a YouTube search, and pretty much everything about Bitclout was, okay, this is a scam. They are mining IDs from the celebrities on Twitter, and it's a copy of Twitter, and it's not open source, and there were a lot of questions around that, right? So I obviously had the same questions. I was initially skeptical. I think over time, what I have noticed is, I think obviously it's backed by a huge, a rich sort of the top VCs. So they definitely have the credibility and the credence to, they're definitely credible, right? So that's one. So the second bit of it is every time any questions have been raised, I think they have been quite responsive. There were questions around whether it's open source or not. I think since then they've gone open source. There were questions around, the entire uh, just to kind of quickly summarize what Bitclout is about, it's pretty much social media on a blockchain, right? Not just Twitter, it could be Instagram, Facebook, any social media network on a blockchain. So one aspect of it is obviously that you can actually, it's all based on a cryptocurrency, right? So called cloud. And one of the early concerns was the fact that you know the cloud cannot actually be exchanged back into bitcoins or into fiat or whatever, right? So that was one of the big concerns. That also has been addressed. It's already listed now on a couple of exchanges. I think there's a discussion going on about it getting listed on Coinbase, which could be huge. So I mean, in general, I think the it's kind of moving in the right direction, I would say. I still wouldn't be saying that it's definitely going to be the next big thing or whatever. So it's definitely moving in the right direction. A lot of its features are now being copied by other the traditional social media chains. So that's they say imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So in that sense, I think it's definitely a lot of ideas are getting picked up, and I think they're doing the right things. So from a high level, I would say definitely give it a check. I mean, give it a go. It's bitclout.com. So do come in, register yourself, and I think I'll just post my uh, social media handles on the chat. So if you guys want to reach out, feel free to connect on LinkedIn or Twitter. I do have a couple of blog posts on Medium, so do take a look as well. I think my last couple of posts are actually about Bitclout. So do take a look. And so one of the other aspects of Bitclout obviously is that it's kind of open source, right? So today the team that's actually working on it is a pretty small team. The core team is probably a team of about 4 or 5 people. So if any of you are on the developer side, on the tech side, and are developers, I think there's a lot of opportunity there for you, because it is really a small team. There's probably another 10, 15 people who from the community who've joined and have started doing a lot of development, and in addition to that, there's probably about 100 plus projects that are going on Bitclout, right? So you could actually go and build an Instagram on Bitclout. You could go and build a Facebook on Bitclout, right? So there's a lot of ideas coming through on that. So there's NFT sort of galleries that are getting built on Bitclout. So NFT is a feature that just got added. I think probably others will talk more about it, or we'll kind of answer it in the Q&A. But NFT is something that got launched almost a couple of weeks back, and it's really taken off in a large way, right? So I think it's really exciting. So, and having said that, I think I am a bit of a techie. While I'm not into coding myself, I obviously am more focused on the product side. So I've kind of been helping out on a few projects along the way. So I think there's interesting work going on. One of the projects I'm helping with is something called Creators. It's essentially a gallery of sorts, or a directory of sorts of all the creators we have on Bitclout, right? So the way we've looked at it is wherever there's a problem on the product, we try and see if we can address it and try and see if we can solve it. One of the challenges we saw on Bitclout was just because of the user experience not being great, the discoverability of creators, right? So if you have some great artists, you're not able to actually see their content well or see their content easily. So we're kind of building a solution to help in the discovery of creators. And that's something that we're just going to launch. We're in the process of kind of launching it in the next week or two. So that's something that we have built out. So again, once you join Bitclout, if you follow me, you'll see a lot of more information on that. So those are all the good things, right? So I think I definitely wanted to start with the good things. So you definitely, hear about it and do check it out. Having said that, with any platform that comes in with money involved, you will obviously get your share of people who are trying to scam you and cheat you and whatever and stuff, right? So there's going to be that bunch. So again, my Medium articles list some of those things, so do check it out. While I may not be able to go into the detail, there's some guidelines on how you can avoid those when you do join. But long story short, I think one of the aspects of the scamming is a lot of bots that are being built, right? So there's a lot of bots that are being built to buy in coins when they're a creator coin. Just take a step back. A creator coin is a coin of which each of us individually have, right? So if I am Randir, Randhir on Bitclout, my creator coin is $Randir, right? So every creator has his own coin, and a creator does not really need to be only an artist, right? You could be a developer, you could be a content creator, like somebody who writes on Medium, or you have your own blogs or whatever, or you could just be sharing your opinions about investments or what have you, right? So every creator has his own coin, and that creator coin and the value that it kind of has actually depends on how many people have invested more money in you, right? So one of the aspects of the way creator coins are priced is, you initially, so there's a bonding curve involved. So initially you put a little bit of money, the growth is quite high. So you can put in about $100 and get your coin to what, pretty, you get about 8 or 10 coins, right? So keeping that in mind, a lot of bots are built in to say any creator who comes in and has, say, hasn't bought in a whole lot of his own coins, the bot comes in and buys. And as more and more people buy in, the bot goes and sells it out, right? So that was the initial scam that kind of ran through. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a scam, right? Somebody using that opportunity and just trying to monetize it. But obviously, it was hurting the platform a whole lot because creators are coming in and then not investing early enough, and then they were getting sold out, and they're actually losing money, right? So considering that it was hurting the platform, I think the platform quickly adopted, and they kind of set something called a founder reward, which is what portion of the investment that people make goes back to the founder, right? They just set a default of 100%, and that helped solve the problem a whole lot, because at least by default those bots are not able to get in until you consciously reduce your founder rewards from 100% to lower or whatever. And if you didn't buy your coin, there was a warning which said you should probably buy your coin before you lower the founder rewards. So the platform has adopted to, like I said, to every scam or every issue that's come up, they have adopted. So that way, I think it's definitely something that's agile. And I mean, while obviously it is still a small team, I think they are fairly responsive to the feedback that's shared. So I think that's a good thing. In addition to that, now that NFTs have launched, the second big set of issues that have cropped up is a lot of artists coming through with either not genuine art, or somebody who creates a copy of the profile of someone on OpenSea or Rarible or Foundation or whatever, right? Someone comes and makes a copy of that artist and then starts posting that artist's art as though it's legit, right? So that, I think, is still going on. Obviously, a lot of the solutions like Creatias that we are building is trying to solve that problem, so that we are actually plugging in. Obviously, my interest is in analytics, right? So I know there's a AI and blockchain kind of meetup. So obviously, we're trying to bring in AI to vet the creators to see who are the more legit creators, who are the more creators that we should actually list on our platform. It's obviously built on the Bitclout blockchain, and it is built for the creative artists in a sense, right? So we're kind of trying to bring all of that together, and the concept of creators is really tiering up creators from level 1, level 2, level 3, right? So when you go to a platinum level, you are among the top 1% of the artists that are there on the platform. So everyone would want to get to that level. And obviously, how do you get in? You obviously engage on the platform on Bitclout, you engage on Creators itself, and obviously you sell more of your art, you get more followers. So we're kind of building it as almost like a Google-like algorithm, to obviously black box algorithm, so it can't be gamed, so that we actually are able to classify artists as, and help discovery of the top artists, right? So that's something that we are building. So would love to obviously have more detailed conversations during the Q&A or later on, on how we're doing it and what we're doing. But it's really an interesting project I've started off. It's more like a side project at this time because obviously, I'm focused on building my own startup. But having said that, I think it's definitely an interesting space, and I see this, thing as a pretty interesting platform with a lot of potential. So I think, yeah, just wanted to share some thoughts. I know there's 2, 3 other people who would like to speak, so I'll pause at this point. Share yours, any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer. But broadly, I just wanted to give a quick intro and then talk about the positive and negatives of Bitclout. I am definitely positive about Bitclout. So anyone who's not on Bitclout, do join in. And obviously, if you join in as a result of this session, do DM me. I'd love to know that this talk convinced some people to join, and then obviously we'll love to help you onboard into the platform and grow there if you need any help along the way. So that's it from me.
Thank you, Radir. Are there any questions, Benan? I know I have quite a few questions. I know that I think you spoke about so many things, and I was wondering whether everyone is really familiar with Bitclout. And I think something which is very interesting is Bitclout's tokenomics. And I just wanted to ask our audience, because maybe now it's a good time to expand on this. I think that Bitclout has a very interesting tokenomics model based around this idea of creator coins that are minted based on someone's investment and blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to ask whether everyone in the audience really understands how Bitclout works on that level, or whether there are any people who are confused about the tokenomics of Bitclout and creator coins, etc. Because based on your comments, Randir, I think maybe now it's a good time to expand on this. So feel free to write your opinion in the chat room. Do you feel that you really understand the okay, Pedro feels lost about the tokenomics of Bitclout. I'm sure Pedro is just the first of many. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm also confused actually about it.
Okay. So I don't know whether, Randir, it might be worth, given your experience in this area, to maybe give a brief explanation of how the whole thing works. And maybe give a simple example. Sorry?
So what I'm not sure about is like the security and how, if it's centralized or decentralized. Because I know, for example, in the Netherlands that there's a lot of regulation on what data banks need to give to the government, stuff like that. And with the Bitclout, if I want to sign up, they ask you to connect it to the Google account, which is again a very central system of collecting a bunch of data. So that's a little bit of my concern. So maybe you can talk about that as well.
Yeah, so sure. Yeah, so just two-part answered, and let me know if I haven't fully answered your question. So the first part, the Google login is just one way of logging in, right? So there's obviously a way to log in or sign up using a seed phrase. So which is basically just a series of 12 words, which you can write down and save. And that's pretty much what's going to be with you for, that's going to be what you can use to log in on any computer, anywhere, anytime, right? So the Google authentication got added because a lot of people started forgetting their seed phrases and losing a lot of money, and a lot of issues started creeping up. And I think there was one instance when one of the big celebs one of the big players on Bitclout actually, by mistake posted his seed phrase on as a post, which meant that the whole world knew his seed phrase and could get access to his money and stuff like that. So the seed phrase was obviously not something that everyone was comfortable with. So I think the Google authentication or the Google login almost came as an answer to that, right? So having said that, I think if you are using the seed phrase, there's a centralized. Okay, and just so that is just more an answer to the seed phrase issue, right? Which even I, along with my own account, I have about 3 or 4 projects that I'm running. So I need to remember these 12 into 4 or 5 60 words, and obviously I write it down somewhere. If I want to log in from a different computer, I don't have access to it. It's typically a challenge, right? So the Google authentication is obviously something people are more comfortable with using Google Auth, and that's kind of really the answer to that, right? So on the decentralized versus centralized, I think today, to be honest, it is not fully decentralized, right? So there's still a lot of central control, right? So in terms of how those coins were minted, I think it was controlled for a long time. Only I think out of the 11 million odd coins minted, I think a good portion of them is with the core team and the initial set of investors, right? So there are some questions that I myself have on that, and on the moderation and the blocking of users and stuff. To a large extent, it is sort of still centralized in the sense that the main node today is on bitclout.com. So on bitclout.com, you can still get blocked, right? So especially all those bots, they've got blocked, right? So if you, I haven't heard too many cases of people getting blocked for voicing their opinion, but I may be wrong, right? So there might have been people who probably not been able to post on. There were a lot of people who were actually very negative on BitClout, who came on BitClout and they were voicing their opinion, but they didn't get blocked as far as I know, they didn't get blocked. So in that sense, I think it is definitely more decentralized and more this one than your traditional social media, but it's not fully decentralized, right? But the answer that we have typically got from the core team is there's a vision to decentralize fully. Over time, bitclout.com, the central node will not be there any longer, right? So in that sense, it will. There's a path to it. Will it happen in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year? I don't think they've committed to that, but there's definitely a vision to move towards greater decentralization. And the other thing that we've typically been told is, if you look at any crypto project, over time, it only gets decentralized, right? So it initially is centrally controlled, and only over time does it get decentralized. So keeping those two things in mind, I think the direction is definitely towards the right things. There are certain decisions that we have started questioning. Initially, we were not getting answers, so now there's a way to actually raise questions on GitHub itself, where we typically do get answers from the core team. And obviously, if the core team is also answerable to us, because if the developers and the initial set of 400, 500 users, if we don't get good answers, we will move away, which will mean that this project will fail. They can keep the entire 100 million or 200 million that they have, but it's not going to be worth anything if the core users go away, right? So they have a responsibility towards us. So I do feel it will move towards more greater decentralization. And the fact that it's backed by this large set of initial investors who have a larger vision, I feel fairly confident. But am I 100% in? Probably not. It's one of those bets which you take and say, okay, fine, this does seem like it has a good chance, right? It's probably like Bitcoin in 2012. You get in now, you put a portion of your time and money into it, and if it works, you'll probably be the guy who's bought Bitcoin in 2012. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
If I may add something here in terms of centralization, decentralization, I think it's the same with many other blockchain projects. For example, in the DeFi space, I'm not sure how many of you are involved in this space, but there was this thing with Uniswap recently, where Uniswap is a DeFi protocol, but it looks like they were attacked by the regulatory authorities, and they asked them to delist some financial products related to publicly listed companies. And then Uniswap basically complied. There are some rumors that Uniswap might be trying to entice mainstream investors, etc. But the thing is that Uniswap itself as a protocol is decentralized, but the actual interface, it's not. So internet itself is not decentralized. So as long as internet itself and things which are on the main internet network are not decentralized, then there's always a central point of failure, let's say, or vulnerability in a sense for this kind of projects. And it's the same for Bitclout. Cool. Any other questions? I mean, we're also going to have like a mini panel at the end for anyone who wants to participate and express their opinion. But if there are no more questions, then we can move on to Valeria, who's going to share her experiences as a media student about the Bitclout. Valeria?
Hi, everybody, and thank you for inviting me here. Can you hear me? Just making sure everyone can hear. Good, perfect. Well, how I started on Bitclout. That would be what I want to talk about today. So at the beginning, when I signed up first for Bitclout, I had no idea what I was doing. I first, I was interested in everything about, cryptocurrency and blockchain. So I wanted to learn more about it, and I found a video about Bitclout. So I say, okay, I'm gonna try and see what happens. So I created my account in the beginning of April, and since then I started noticing, people speculating with the coin price and everything. So, it's something hard to explain, because if you're not in the Bitclout, it's for some people it's hard to understand. Oh, it's what's different about Bitclout. Why it's not like the other social media. So what I saw first is okay, there is this catch that people will always go for. Okay, you can make money on Bitclout. So yes, people will invest in your coin. People will sell your coin, and you can also invest in other people's coin and also sell them. So yes, so I started, okay, I was not investing in anybody at the beginning. I was just, just see what happens. I would, just get investments, because when you're a new account, when people will say, okay, well, she's a new person, I will put like $10 worth of Bitclout and, see what happens. So for example, I had one of my first investors, he put, let's say, $10 worth of Bitclout at the beginning. And when he sold, it was, let's say, around $700 worth of Bitclout. So yes, that's an example. So yes, so I started in posting regularly. So then when you're active and then you interact with the community, what I like about that is that you can also build relationships there. It's you get to know other people that are in Bitclout. So these connections for me are more valuable, because yes, you can meet people that do like the same things as you, that do the same. So yes, it's really, it's because it's a small, there are not many users right now. So it's everyone knows who each person is, because you know who is more active and who is on more projects, and and that's like kind of the magic of Bitclout for me, that you don't get that in other social media. That's for me what I like about it for now, because it's not now mainstream or anything. So it is this fact that you get to connect, actually, real connections. You make people like you wouldn't have never met otherwise. So yes, that is for me one of the best things right now of Bitclout, because it's, like, as I said, a small community. And then yes, there is the speculation and the coin price and everything. And yes, there's some people that join Bitclout because they're expecting to make some money, let's say, or invest or something. So I would say just that there are some you can, let's say, generate some of these money, let's say, or clout. That's the currency. For example, yes, as I said, first you can invest in other creators. The creators are each person that creates an account. So it doesn't matter if you're not even an artist or you're just a normal person. You create an account and you're a creator. That's it. Okay, so you you can invest in other creators. You get investments as well, and those investments you get the funder reward. So, example, you create your account, so you're a brand new account on Bitclout. You just created it, and someone comes and say, "Oh, okay, I will. Yeah, I see this person, and I know." Seems legit, doesn't seem like a fake account. So I'll put, let's say, $100 worth of cloud. It's okay. So you get the investment, and out of that, if your funder reward is 10%, you get this $10 worth of Bitclout in your account, let's say. So that way you can get sort of something out of the people that invest in you, because they are speculating on your coin price. So yes, so that's one way. Then we have, of course, you can also do that if you let's say you like some artist or some influencer, let's say, who is on Bitclout, and you think, oh, I will like to put, let's say, no, 10, 15, 50, 100, 2,000 of dollars worth of Bitclout on this person, just with the hope maybe the coin price goes up, and then I will get some revenue out of this. So that's another way. And then there's been a lot of changes in the beginning. So they added now the diamond feature, let's say. So what is this diamond thing? So in normal social media, we have, you can like a post, you can, let's say, retweet will be like Bitclout here. And in Bitclout, you can also diamond one post. What is this diamond means? So when you get a diamond, you get part of the coin of the person. So let's say you create a post of something. It doesn't matter what it is. Someone likes it very much, they will give a diamond. That means it's, let's say, now it's, I think, less than 1 cent that they get of your coin. So it's like giving them part of you, let's say, because they like very much what you did. So, okay, I give this person 1 diamond, but 1 diamond is 1 diamond, but you can get up to 5 or 6. So that is like, let's say, 5 cents, then it comes to $5, then 10, and so I think, yes, yeah, you can get a lot of diamonds, and that is also what you get, part of the coin or the person that gives you the diamonds. And of course, you can sell those diamonds. So this is yet another way if you want to, let's say, make some money. Then, okay, people can also send coin. Let's say I have my coin, Valeria coin, and if I want to give someone my coin, I can actually just send it. I just send, let's say, $50 worth of Valeria coin to someone. It doesn't matter, I mean, who, but they will receive it. Yes, that's one thing that's possible. Then now we have the NFTs that is kind of brand new. But the good thing is, like, it is actually, I have seen that, of course, you can mint some piece of art and or yes, something, but it's not only about that, because for example, I have seen some people, let's say, minting a post. Okay, say it's let's say minimum bid $50 worth of cloud. So, and that is not just you get, okay, I get this, let's imagine it's a ticket for some event, and you don't get just a ticket. minted, you know, the ticket, you get, of course, the access to the event, and you can get something else always. I've seen people using the NFT feature to actually kind of sell some services. For example, let's say online yoga classes, or some, yes, events, and like this, I would say this tickets, kind of NFT tickets. So yes, there's many ways. You just need to be a bit like creative with all what you can do there. Yes. So yes, I talk about the investment, about the diamonds. Oh, I have questions. I think I will read them. So when you create an account,
Look,
you have to.
the next question.
Okay. So Tanya is asking.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I will answer if it's fine. Okay. So Tanya is asking, so when you create an account, you have to pay for the coins as well. So at the beginning, I created my account, and I did it with my number to verify my mobile number. So then they sent me some Bitclout, let's say it was not much, let's say $1 worth of it, and that's enough to start. You can buy, of course, but in my case, I never bought anything, nada, zero. I never bought Bitclout. Everything that I kind of made on Bitclout, it was because I got a founder reward, because I got diamonds, because some people sent me some of their coin. So I actually never bought at all Bitclout. So it's not necessary. You don't have to buy it when you start, unless you want to really invest, you know, do just investments, and, you know, but you can actually, if you like to, you know, create things, or you have some kind of some business, and then you want to put it on Bitclout, and some people like it, they will invest, let's say, in cloud, but invest something, and you get the founder reward. You get diamonds. Yes, you can get some other people's coin. So that's how, for example, I got the cloud that I have now. But I didn't buy anything. And yes, because I think at the beginning it was a bit hard to buy, and now they made it easy. But yes, that at the beginning it wasn't. And okay, yes. So I think I answered the question. Any other?
Perfect. I have a question. So there are obviously many things happening. How easy do you think it's for someone to join Bitclout who has no prior experience with, you know, with blockchain or this world? So which this might actually be the average artist, right? Or really the average person.
Yes, actually, it isn't as clear as it doesn't sound also clear. I know it's some people get confused, because I know it's a lot of things that what diamonds, what founder reward, what investment, they don't know. And I had to explain this to a friend that she wanted to join, but she said, I don't know, I don't understand anything. I don't know anything. I have no idea. And so I have to really explain to her detailed. And yes, she didn't even understand what's with the seed phrase also, for example. She say, oh, how, you know, all of these things. But yes, I think it is at the beginning, just create the account. Well, I think the creation of accounts is the easiest part. Because, okay, you can use just, you know, your seed phrase, or you can do it through Google, as Randy said. Yes, but the thing that where most people get confused is about this coin price, because once you create your account, you get your coin and you have a price. And that's something some people are not used to, you know. It's like, oh, now I'm worth, let's say, $5. So yes, and I was explaining this to her, because I told her, okay, when you create your account, you have a founder reward 100% until you change it. And why they put 100 as default? So people don't kind of get advantage of, you know, when you're new and you don't know. So people, they come, let's say, buy your coin and sell it, and you don't know what's going on. So I would say, just first, buy your own coin. That was step number one that I didn't do when I started. No one told me, and yes. So yes, so I told my friend, first, after you sign up, you buy your own coin, and it doesn't matter if it's a small amount. Just buy your coin. And then you can, let's say, keep the founder reward 100%, and then just make posts and see who actually wants to buy your coin, or not for, like, let's say, just to trade for, like, you know, because that's something that is not, I mean, unless you don't mind, but I think it's better just to wait, let's say, keep your fund reward 100% until you actually understand what's going on. Yes, because of course there are people trading and they will want to buy the coin and sell it after 1 hour, and so yes, that's what happens. It's actually hard to understand at the beginning, but once you get in there and you read the posts and you interact with people, that's I think what's you have to focus at the beginning, not just to say, okay, what do I do with my coin price, or do I buy someone's coin, what do I do with the diamonds, and just observe. And yes, I think depends on what is your purpose on Bitclout as well. As I said, my purpose, I didn't really know what it was about when I joined, but then I like to create posts, I like to interact with people, so that's my normal self. And if some people think my coin price is gonna go up, they will buy it. And when they think there's no more space to grow, they will sell it. And yeah, that happens. And it's something that people have to kind of get used to, that the coin price is gonna go up and it's gonna go down. The same when you buy someone's coin, maybe you buy it and then this person, let's say, it's going down, so you lose money. I think everything is kind of a speculation, but what I get the best of Bitclout is, as I said before, the people you meet there. And yeah, that's for me the best thing. Any other question? Yes.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
My question is, how much is the supply of your own coin, and what's the initial price that they set on your own coin? Is it something you define that this is a maximum supply I want to have, that I want to create X amount of demand, and this is the price I put on, or it's everything automatic on the platform?
Actually, your coin price depends how many people buy it, and it's something that you have no control of. So let's say you just started and someone buys it for, let's say, 2,000. Of course, it's going to be a higher price. If no one buys your coin, or even you, it's going to be zero. So yeah, that depends on the people that buys, the people that sells. That's how it fluctuates the coin price. So yeah, you cannot actually control that.
And how about the supply? What's the supply? You decide how much supply of your own coin is there or no?
No, I mean, it's the more people that buy it, they will have, let's say, I don't know how to explain it, so it's more clear, but let's say someone buys your coin. At the beginning, let's say it's cost because no one, it's 0, and then someone buys it and it's 10. And the supply it depends on the coin price. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, so I'll take a stab.
Yes.
So just to answer your question, there's no limit on the supply of coins, right? So essentially the supply is unlimited, but as the coin price goes higher, it becomes more and more difficult to buy one additional coin. So in fact, if my coin price today is, say, I think it's about $300, right? So today, to buy one coin of mine, you need to spend $300, even more than that, right? But the same thing, the first 10 coins, like I said, you can buy it for $100. So that's why I think there's a lot of those bots that come in, because if you buy those coins when it's early, you get 10 coins, and then say that same creator does a lot of good work, say does projects, say puts out NFT art, which is selling very well. So with NFT art, a portion of the sales actually goes back to the coin holders. So in effect, it's almost like you're a stock in itself, and your stock holders or your coin holders actually get a portion of your profits, right? So as those coins grow, these people make money. So, but to go back to your question, there is no supply limit. But because, like, say, if your coin is worth $10,000, and there are a few people, I think this guy, I think Elon Musk is there, and Naval Ravikant is there, and stuff, right? So their coin prices are listed about $10,000+. So now if their coin has to go up from even 10,000 to 10,500, maybe somebody has to go and put in that much money, right? So that's when I think that's how the supply gets limited. So while there's an unlimited supply, it also requires unlimited money, to a huge amount of money to get to that step, right? So I think that's really, it's what is called a bonding curve. I think the entire thing is based on a bonding curve, and there's a very simple formula behind it. So you can actually go to bitcloutwhitepaper.com. I think the entire formula is listed there. I'll probably post it on the chat as well if you can go take a look at it. But essentially, it's like a exponential kind of a reverse exponential curve, right? So which essentially limits the supply. Yeah. I hope that answers.
Very, very good. So, someone is asking who.
If I may add something here.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I may add something here around the bonding curve. I think this is something which we have seen in other blockchain projects, this type of tokenomics model. So it's not an innovation. I guess the innovation around that is how Bitclout is using it so that each creator can have their own coin. This is what I personally find very interesting. Yeah, it looks like Tanya and Pedro have a couple of questions. Don't know who.
Yeah, I think you're on mute. So I'll take the bot's question. So maybe Valeria can take the other question, right? So who's running these bots? Obviously, there are. It has to be some developer, right? So there's obviously it could be people who are involved with the initial team, or it could be just some people who got in, or it could just be someone from Twitter, right? So trying to ruin the system, bring in all these bots and scams and everything, and spoil the reputation of Bitclout, right? It could be anyone. I don't think we know exactly who's behind it, because in a way, some of this is anonymized, right? Anybody with a valid Bitcoin address can actually create an account on Bitclout, right? So it could be anyone. So a lot of these bots have now gotten smarter. While the early bots you could have traced back to this coin, this profile, funding it and stuff, I think over time they've gotten smarter and smarter. So there's really not one person you can point to, but essentially it's people. I look at it as people who want to make money, right? Using the flaws in the system, they just want to make money. It's just that the system has to get smarter. And like I said, it is getting smarter. So that's the good thing. If the system wasn't fixing these problems, I would probably be concerned, or probably not even be spending any time on Bitclout today. But the fact that the system is getting smarter and a lot of these developers are working hard to prevent these scams, or at least reduce these scams, I think that for me is the positive side of it. And in terms of this. Yes, correct. It is run by unidentified developers. The motive is definitely money. Correct. Joseph is on the mark on that.
Right. Okay. So Tanya is asking. Yeah, she's confused on how do we actually get the coin price up without buying, I would say, their own coin first. Well, that's also like for example, me. When I started, I didn't buy my own coin. So I don't know. I personally, because at the beginning, you fund a reward, let's say the 10% that you get, it will go direct to your coin. So instead of getting into your wallet in Bitclout, let's say 10 euros, sorry, dollars, fund reward would go to your coin. So that is what you can buy your coin. You can actually buy your coin when you get the fund reward that you get from the investments and keep buying it. Yes, that's if you don't get your own, if you don't buy Bitclout at the beginning. I mean, that's the only way. I mean, anything you can do to get some clout into your coin, let's say the diamonds you get, let's say, yes, if someone gives you some clout, yes, that's the way you buy it, but I don't think there is any other way. I don't know if Randir.
Yeah, no. So I think the question, if I understood it right, is what are the factors that affect coin price, right? So I think the coin price really depends, like I was answering Marsad, right? So the coin price really depends on how many people are buying how much of your coin, right? So if you can get the attention of the people with the money, they will buy your coin, right? So it's as simple as that. And the ways to do it, if you're an artist, put out great art. The way to do it, if you're if you're somebody who's putting out content, put out content. If you're a developer, obviously, if you're doing great work, and to be honest, quite a few of the developers today are getting huge investments, because I think everyone recognizes that if we don't a good bunch of developers right now, there's almost like a early stage startup, right? And if you don't get enough good developers into building this platform may not really scale that well, right? So a lot of the early developers are also getting a lot of huge investment. So the artists might come and say, oh, why am I not getting the investment, right? Because it's really because at this stage the platform is still getting built. And that's why I think a lot of people, building products, contributing to the community are getting investments. The artists are also getting it, especially now. I think the NFT buzz has kind of picked it up. So anybody who's in the visual arts, doing paintings, doing 3D arts, and anyone like that are also getting investments. So the game really is, how do you get the attention? And then I think there's a lot of networking that goes into it. So if a lot of people, and eventually you're participating in the Clubhouse rooms, you're participating in the Telegram and Discord groups, and really reaching out and interacting with a lot more people, your name will become more common, and people will say, okay, this is somebody who's committed to the platform. So if I put even $10 in him because he's committed, that the $10 will still remain and grow because he's also contributing to it, right? So in effect, I think that's really one of the things that people are investing on. So as long as you are committed to the platform, more people will put money in.
Yes. Yes. Hope that answered your question, Tanya.
So Ian, was there a question from you as well?
Yeah,
perfect. Looks like there are many people interested in Bitclout.
Sorry?
So I was saying it looks like many people are interested in Bitclout, but at the same time, they must be very confused about what works and how, and the tokens, and how many accounts are scams and rug pulls and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it is, well, actually, it isn't that hard to see who it's a scam or not, because you can actually see if some account is connected to other scams, because you always know where the money went and where did it came from. For example, I use this. There is this one called Cloud that they show in this web page. Or let's say you want to look up Randir. Let's say I want to know if Randir is a scam or what is it. So I look at Randir, and it appears the account of Randir, and they shows all the transactions, and if there was some suspicious transactions, you can see everything. Of course, that this let's say what I mentioned, this website helps a lot with that. And there are others also that are being built, and yes, so it is actually it's just it takes some time sometimes to do the research and everything. Yes, the same with NFTs. Let's say someone wants to, oh, I made this drawing or this art, and probably it's not theirs. So yes, but that is a bit harder to know. But it's always doing their own research on these things. Anything else?
Would you say that now there are less scammers on Bitclout compared to the past?
Well, I think I don't see as much as before. At the beginning, let's say, there were many, but I think now, because you can, always search what account was connected to this scam account, and you can actually track that. So it's harder for them to hide those things. Yes, but also, maybe it's not a scam. Maybe it's someone who actually say, oh, I want to try Bitclout, and people invest in it, and then they just delete their account, and they say, oh, it's a scam. Or maybe it's just a person that actually don't want to use Bitclout anymore and just took the money, and then that's, that can happen as well. But yeah, I think most people want to that we are.
No, I think.
Yeah, please.
No, sorry.
Yes.
So what I was saying was definitely the number of scams has come down. I don't think there's any question about it, because initially, in effect, but the scammers are finding new ways, right? So I think initially it was all with the bots, right? So the bots buying and then selling. Then there were a lot of fake profiles that were created. Literally every large following profile on Twitter was getting cloned, and then somebody comes and hypes it up and then sells it. And then there were a lot of pseudonym profiles who were just putting in money, saying that I'm going to put in $1,000 every day, and if you come in now, you'll make money and whatever and stuff. And once people put in enough money, the guy just sells all his coins and goes away. Literally I think every week there's a new scam that was coming out. So I don't. Obviously all the old scams have gone. I think the latest ones that are going out is, I think the question from one of the people there, right? So the latest scam that's going out is really these NFT artists, right? So people pick up and fake NFT artists that are there on OpenSea or whatever, and almost put that profile out. It looks legit, until you ask them to link their, link Bitclout from their, say, OpenSea ID or something like that. That's when you get to know. So a lot of people are doing. The community is kind of doing the due diligence, right? Because now we have seen so many scam artists. So the community is kind of helping vet these people and say, okay, unless one of these 15, 20 people who are vetting vets the profile, we're not going to invest in it. So in a way, it's kind of being community-driven vetting of profiles is happening. So to avoid the scams, there's no automated solution as yet today, but maybe even over time, there'll be solutions. Maybe the linking of the social media profiles can become automatic. Maybe some other options are coming up. Like I said, creators, we're looking at other ways using AI to vet the profiles. So there will be programmatic ways and there'll be non-programmatic ways, but essentially I think it's definitely come down. But I would say there's probably going to be new scams coming up, and the community just has to get smarter every time and reduce those. And that's the way I look at it.
So someone is asking if it's possible to buy a real physical or digital picture. I mean, that depends on what it's offered. Let's say the NFT, you can, of course, you get the NFT minted on Bitclout, but it can have this unlockable content that when you buy the NFT, let's say, you can get, let's say, maybe if you agree with the artist, they can send it to you as well as a physical, let's say, picture or something. But that depends on the artist and what's the deal, right? And what happens?
Yeah, no, I think just to add.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
just to add to that, I think that's what a lot of people are doing, right? So to make this, make your art or make your NFT sell more, make it exclusive. And one of the things a lot of the artists are now doing is saying that this is going to be the only digital piece that will sell, and you will also get a physical copy of the original. That actually makes it exclusive, because it means that even if someone makes a copy of it, you still have the original with you. And then obviously, because it's minted on an NFT marketplace, it obviously has a legitimacy to it. But you're just adding more to it by saying you also get a large whatever, a large printed version of it, and the only original version of maybe a painting, right? You get the only original that is there. Just imagine owning, Mona Lisa or something like that, right? So I think that's really the way a lot of artists are moving towards. So I think it's kind of a thing. And obviously, one way to do it is like the way Valeria mentioned. You kind of mentioned that in the unlockable, saying that you will send the physical copy to them as well.
Yeah, I hope that was the answer for the question. And yeah, there's some people from Germany. Yes. Talking about that, we are organizing in Berlin, because I live in Berlin, a Bitclout meetup. So we will be having this meetup at the end of August, from the 20th to the 22nd. So in case you are around in Berlin, you can always join. I will put the Bitclout account page for our event in the comments. If you're interested, there will be people from the community, some developers and artists of Bitclout. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and just to add on to that note, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think I was just going to add on to that note. So we are doing a similar meetup in Bangalore, most likely next week. We're still trying to figure out whether with COVID and everything, if it can be a physical one or it has to be a virtual one. Most likely it'll be a small group of about 15-20 people who are there on Bitclout in Bangalore, who are getting together. It's on the 15th of August, which is our Independence Day. So again, if you are on Bitclout and if you want to be a part of that, especially if you're in Bangalore, obviously travel is not recommended as yet. So if you're in Bangalore and you want to be part of it, do reach out to me on Bitclout or any of the other. I think I've listed out my social media handles at the top. So do reach out to me, and I'd love to meet you guys.
Perfect, thank you. So many things happening. Maybe Randir, you want to also share the link to this event for anyone who is based in India. It's good to see that Bitclout is getting some traction. I personally find it a very interesting platform. So with IX Machina, so basically I had initially a personal Bitclout account, the datascientist.com, which is my personal website. But then I realized that most people on Bitclout, they were not interested in data science, but they were interested in NFTs and art. So that's why I switched my personal Bitclout to that of my AI collectives. And again, our next meetup and exhibition, a bit of a combination of everything, is going to be held in London. And if anyone wants to exhibit, if you have any artists, we're going to have some free space. So feel free to just send me an email if you are into the space of generative art using AI, if you're into NFTs. Also, please register on our meetup page so you can make sure that you can get notifications of meetups like this and our Tesseract Academy newsletter, so you can get notifications of meetups like this. In general, the Tesseract Academy is on a mission to educate as many people as possible on topics like AI, data science, blockchain, etc. So the more people support this work, the better. You can find our meetup here. Unless someone has anything else to say, I think we can close now. And I'd like to thank everyone, especially our speakers, for this very informative session on Bitclout and the tokenomics of Bitclout and all the things going on there, many interesting and crazy things. So thanks everyone, big round of applause, and we hope to see you again soon, either in London or in our next virtual meetup. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting. Bye from Germany.
Bye.